Pisces, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for November 28th through the 4th of December 2016. I'm Athen, and this channel is about using the actual constellations in the sky known as Sidereal Astrology. If you are new, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different, which means your sign might be different, and you'll want to watch this for the right sign. All right, so Aquarius, this week we have a new moon kicking things off on Tuesday. So this is a new beginning in your 9th house, which is the house of possibilities and potentials. What I mean by that is your belief systems, right? This has been a serious area. You've had Saturn in the 9th helping you really ground these possibilities, ground your belief systems into something real, raw, and tangible. And that's a really good way of working with this new moon. It will be involving Saturn, relatively. So seeing, yes, where you can make some of these potentials, possibilities, to make them into something in the long term with patience, with responsibility. And that's what Saturn's been showing us. But nonetheless, I think this week, seeing how you can tap into your adventurous side. I think you'll notice that more as we get into the later part of the week and into next week. Whatever these new beginnings are, I think it is going to be invoking a bit more of the adventure, a bit more of the open-mindedness, again, going back to the belief systems, but also open-mindedness too with learning, higher learning. Some of you might be starting some new things with spirituality or philosophy or university studies. Some of you with long-distance matters and travel and those types of things. But most fundamentally, this is about the belief systems. This is about the life path and opening your horizons there. So great place for a new moon. And right around that same time, Mercury is going to go into your 10th house, placing more of an emphasis on the productive side of life. So I think your mind might shift towards maybe the career, the public life, the productive life. And I think that's a very good way of getting into the practical side of things. In fact, Venus has already been helping you make some connections here, helping you see the value. And with Pluto, maybe make some changes with that productive life. So more positive support for that. Now, Mercury does rule your 7th house of relationships, which does have Jupiter in it. So I think it's still an excellent time for meeting new people, cultivating existing relationships. And I think you'll probably notice that that shift is going into the career. Maybe you're meeting some people at work or in the career sector, or maybe developing some relationships there with clients or partnerships or whatever it might be. But definitely I think more of the importance of relationship when it comes to all that productive stuff. Also too, when it comes to the personal life, maybe bringing in a bit of the personal and productive. Maybe some of you might see some long-term things with the home, family, and health stuff, or maybe work towards that, or bring some balance back to those key areas. So that's the Mercury shift. Now, around the same time, Tuesday and Wednesday, Venus does square up to Uranus. So collectively, we might be feeling a bit of the irritability or wanting to break free, break through, or maybe just feeling impulsive. It's just sometimes the case. So as I always say with these types of squares is to be as centered as we can, right? Be aware of this around Tuesday and Wednesday if you are feeling any type of impulse or reactive energy. And listen to the freedom, because there is something here that Uranus is, coming through about, and this is about you having freedom with yourself. Uranus in your 1st house, right? With your identity, with your personal needs, with your independence. All right, freedom is so important in that area, but we do want to make sure that we are grounding it, we are implementing it in a balanced way. So listen to it, centeredness, constructively utilizing it is excellent. You may even find it too that it's relating to the career stuff or the productive things. And so, centeredness there. Maybe even too with the communication. Venus does rule your 3rd house, and also too with the deeper stuff in life. Venus does rule your 8th as well. Okay, so that's the square, but I think it's going to be quite healing. In fact, Venus will be sextiling up to Chiron, who has recently entered your 1st house this year. So there is this rejuvenation, this freshness. In fact, Chiron does go direct right after that on Thursday, suggesting this new shift of you healing some wounds, healing some insecurities, some doubts, whatever it is that comes up. And yes, it's very rejuvenating as a result. So that's the sort of shift this week. It's very pivotal in the sense that the 1st half, as you can see with the square with the new moon, it's more internal. It has more to do with maybe that, inner reactive energy or whatever it is. But then as we get into the 2nd half, there's the shift with Chiron, again, the rejuvenation there, and then a very nice aspect involving your ruler, Mars trining up to Jupiter. This is a very inspiring aspect, very motivating, in fact. And for you, it's in some nice areas. It's Mars in your 11th house, which lately, I think the past few weeks, if you've been feeling a bit of motivation or drive to pursue your personal aspirations, then this is an excellent second half of the week to do that. I mean, it's all week and it's even in the coming weeks. But with this trine up to Jupiter, you can feel perhaps more motivated, more inspired to cultivate these personal aspirations. All right, so all future things, your hopes, your wishes. For some of you, it might be having to do with groups, friends, and networks. Okay, if you've been feeling motivated on that regard. But in either case, any type of inspiration is very supportive during this time, but utilize it. You know, sometimes when things are easy, we have an easy aspect like this, we might rest on our laurels. We might say, oh yeah, we'll get to it next week. But this is where we can use the momentum, we can use the inspiration. And again, I think it's really channeling into those personal aspirations of yours. Okay. Now, vice versa, Mars trining up to your ruler in the 7th means maybe a bit of directness and drive to cultivate those relationships. Maybe some new opportunities, maybe an opportunity involving relationships and involving future possibilities, future aspirations, or maybe involving your friends or network circles, something like that. Very supportive there. Okay. Mars does also rule your 2nd house of finances, so maybe some support in that area. And Mars also rules your 9th, again, helping you tap into that adventurous spirit. So very nice trine, very good houses for it to be involved in. Mars is actually exalted in Capricorn right now, really boosting all of this. And again, your ruler in the 7th, helping you see those opportunities with relationships. Now, right after that, Mars then sextiles up to Saturn, which is just more icing on the cake there. Going into the weekend does suggest that there is this opportunity to take things nice and slow. I think we will all have this willingness to be responsible, to take the long-term approach. And again, this is all involving those possibilities and those belief systems. Okay, so Pisces, the way I would sum up this week is that right at the beginning, there's a new moon. It's a good time to listen, good time to be receptive, see what life unfolds for you, involving possibilities, potentials, a bit of that adventurous spirit, which again, you can take with that responsible approach. Mercury does shift into the 10th, putting more emphasis on the career and productive life. Good for that mental energy there, good for relationships there, and a bit of balance with the personal life there as well, you know, involving career or vice versa. And Mars in the 11th, giving you a bit of aspiration, giving you some future things to hope for, to wish for, but to cultivate, to actually put energy into. Some of you might find that it's a great time to do some networking, maybe connect with some friends, but whatever it is, whatever you're inspired towards, very supportive there with your ruler Jupiter. All right, Pisces, so have a fantastic week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week.